please, you can mute yourself if you're not talking. We're going to start now. Let me mute this person. Okay, good. Yeah. So the purpose of this meeting is just to go through what we've done so far. We're not going to go deeply into it. So I'm just going to do this video to go through it, and then subsequent time, probably tomorrow, then we'll start tackling it bit by bit. But for people that want to kind of be studying on by themselves, and I think understanding the concept why you need to use this particular task or project would go a long way to you understanding them when you are reading on your own or when you are watching videos, when you have basic knowledge of the reason why you need to do this thing. Okay, so I think that would help. So that's why I just say, okay, let's go through this meeting. um, I don't know if there's anyone still lagging behind with this task so far. But so far, I haven't seen them too challenging. I think they are all the tasks you've been doing are still fair. And yeah. So let me share my screen and we'll dive into it very fast. Okay. So entire screen. Alright. So I would be navigating through the. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen.
Okay, good. Thank God. Alright. So I'm going to let me hide this guy. So I'll start from the first task. I think we have probably 10 so far. So I'll just spend like probably 7 minutes on each one and go through everything for you. Alright. So this is the cohort 16 account, and let me just sorry go to open this guy. Alright, so I think the first one is hello world, right? Let's see. So let's start from this guy and see. So there's something else I would like you to do, which is always not be pushed to always want to kind of meet up deadline. Okay, so when you try to meet up deadline, majorly you end up copying. So try to, if you have a task, for example, hello world, right? Hello world in C. Go to YouTube, watch hello world in C, even before opening your resource. Okay, try to understand it. Look at the the quiz. Try and see if you can attempt it even without reading the materials given to you, because when you read materials of things that you don't even know about, it might be hard to grab. Okay, so with probably YouTube videos, by seeing them, seeing how they work, it will be easy to do and easier to grab. Okay, so I think that's what you should do that. Try it. If you don't get the quiz, then you can now then go back to the resources and read them. I think you get much more understanding on how they work. Okay, so I'll just briefly go through this thing and let's see. So C programming, majorly what you've been doing is just for us to kind of print something out to the screen, give an input and then get an output. I think even input and output, we've not really been doing too much on that. But basically, we've been writing codes and then making it print out something in the output, right? So the first one is hello world. This is the basic of every program. Let me try and accept people in if you have. Okay. Let me just accept. Sorry for the break. Alright, so yeah, so please kindly mute yourself if you're just joining. Okay, so let me just try and get, should I use my sandbox, or let me see if I have a program on Vagrant. Vagrant is very fast. CD, let me see this C projects. Okay, do I have hello world here? Let me see hardcore. Okay, I have hello world here. Okay, good. Okay, so let me use vi4. Sorry, 4. Sorry, vi4 puts .c. Okay, so basically when you're writing a program, okay, so for your program to work, you need to include this header file. This is called an header file. So I'm just trying to go from scratch and we'll go gradually. So if you understand this, you can just wait to get to where you are right now. So this is the header file. Your program should have. So I don't know if there's anyone that can use VI here. I don't think there is. So VI is just for you to write your code. Is like let me like I used to explain that it's like your Microsoft Word, in which you can use to write inside the document. Okay, so we've opened this document and we want to write a C code, right? So you have to include an header file. Okay, so I won't go into what an header file is right now, but just know that you have to include an header file for your program to run very well. And then ALX allows us to, or make sure or enforces that we use a particular coding style. The coding style is just like your handwriting, and which is Betty. So Betty is just to allow everybody's it's just like you are in the school and then your school would have a school uniform. So it's to allow your code to be in uniform, to be in a particular pattern. And Betty style, like I used to explain that if you are doing project in school, there is
Please zoom in your screen a bit.
all right. So if you are doing project in school, that there is this what was this referencing style that people use. I think upper style or something. So there's this referencing style that makes it unique. That once you are using that referencing style, it will be the same with other people's own, right? So that is what Betty is all about. It's just to give you that particular style. And Betty style says that you put your header file first, right? And then this one is your description. Okay, is your file description. Note that this description, whatever you put here, is not part of your code. It doesn't affect your code, but it's just for Betty to know that okay, you've you've described your code very well. Okay, so it needs you to put the name of that your function. This guy over here is called function. Okay, so as you can see, we have main here and then we have main here, right? And then you put your double colon, you write about this function. So this function now, what is it going to do? So anything you write here doesn't concern Betty, so you can design yours yourself. The only thing that concerns Betty is that you write this name and put dots dots and probably write any text here. Okay, and this one I wrote the description. This one is not necessary, but you would need it if this place is void, meaning that it is empty. Okay, so if it has anything, we'll get to the one that has something in it. Okay, you would write that thing also here, and then the return type, this return. Okay, you add it here. So this one would just allow you to pass Betty. Okay, so by the time you are coding, you would get so many errors, and then by the time you are fixing those errors, you get used to them, and then you know whenever you come across those errors, you know what to change. Okay, so this is a function. Okay, so in C, we always a normal C program will have this header file and then a main function. So the main function would have this data type. Okay, this data type is called return value. Okay, so because we said it's going to return 0, 0 is a number, right? So 0 is a number. Numbers are called integers. Okay, so it's going to return 0. That's why we put this int here. Okay, and the name, this one is just a name, but every C program would have a main. Okay, so this is just a basic C program. We would have header file and then it will have return type. Okay, a name which is main majorly, and then we'll have a parameter. Okay, so this one is not collecting any parameter. So basically you can just open bracket, close bracket, but Betty style does not want you to just open bracket and close bracket. It wants you to put something there. So because of its Betty style, then we put void, telling that there's nothing there. Okay, so Betty does not want it to be empty. All right, so after that we'll have these curly braces in which would execute whatever we put into it. Okay, so that's it. So inside the curly braces now we have our return type, which is very necessary. Whenever you say that your program will return something, okay, then you put that return, and then Betty style also. In normal C program, probably you're not using Betty style, you can just say return 0 and put your semicolon. Every code inside these curly braces used to end with semicolon, right? So you put return, you can just put 0 semicolon, but Betty also wants you to put a space between them and a bracket, okay? So that will make Betty pass you that, okay, you write it according to the way it wants. And then this guy here is also called a function. So if you look at it very well, a function will just have a name and then open bracket, close bracket. Look at this main, okay, it has open bracket, close bracket. This puts, it has open bracket, close bracket. So these are functions, they're just name and then the brackets, okay. So inside the brackets you can now pass in something inside, okay. So this puts, the function of this puts, okay, is to print out a particular words, strings of words, length of words together. It's to print it out to the person that wants to view. So if I want to print how are you, I can just write my basic command like this one, add my return type to be int, and then write a main, write that I'm not passing anything, and then put, and then write anything here. I can have probably 10 lines of put. I can come down, let me sorry. So I can come down here and I can do puts again, okay. The bracket, it will end with curly braces and then 2 quotes, and inside the quotes I can just say I am a man, okay. And put will allow me print this thing to the person that wants to use this program. So if I save this thing, okay, let me clear. All right, so where is that put? I think for puts.c, right? So if I compile it, GCC is used to compile it, okay. So we have 4 compilation process. So I need you to watch that video after this class, because it's going to be very short, so I can't go through all that. Probably in the next class we'll then start picking it one by one and then we'll go through all those. So I want to compile this guy for puts.c, and then the output should be 4, okay. So if I do ls, this 4 now is I've compiled it. So you have to compile whatever you code, and then you run that compiled stuff to see the results, okay. But majorly when ALS give you tasks to do, they just want to see what you code. They will be the one to compile and test it themselves, but you can test it for you to know that, okay, what you code is working perfectly, okay. That's why your testing is there. So if I do /4, okay, so you see it printed this one, and then it printed I am a man, okay. So I can add more things with put inside that main. I can use put to write other things inside, okay. So that's that. So if I go back into my there are other things I can use to print out to the screen, okay. So I can also use a function called, I think someone wants to join. I'm receiving some calls on my phone, sorry. Oh, sorry, 11 people. I'm so sorry. Alright. Okay, good. So, like I'm saying, so we have so many things that we can use to print. We have, sorry, I can also use the printf, right? Printf. And then this is, please kindly mute yourself. So this is the basic function, the name, and then curly braces, right? And then open bracket and close bracket rather. And then I'll put it in 2 quotes, and then I'll write anything. So printf to allow us to write strings like this. But the only difference between put and printf, when you need to use printf and when you need to use put, is that put will only allow this stuff, right? It will only allow this. But printf has more functions, in the sense that I can print, okay, the man is a good man. If I do like this, execute it, GCC this, okay, execute it, you see the man is a good man. Okay, so it has two differences. One is that put would print a new line automatically. Like after I printed this guy, right? I inputted this guy, it brought the next stuff into a new line. But printf, please kindly mute yourself if you are not talking. So printf would not put that new line, so you have to put your new line yourself. Okay, so if I add new line to this guy now, okay, sorry, I can't see, it's too big. Yeah, so I think I entered the wrong stuff there, so I went to create this one. So for puts, for dash puts dot c. So if I add a new line to this guy, \n, right, and then I recompile it, right, and then I will run it, you see that, bring this guy down. Sorry. Okay, you see that the man is a good man as this guy over here, which was here before. Okay, I think I've cleared the screen. This guy was here before, it has brought it down. Okay, so printf will not give you a new line automatically. Another feature of printf is that we can use, let me just clear this thing. Sorry, the screen is too big, so let me just reduce it again. Alright. I hope you can see the screen. I don't know, it's better like this for me. I don't know. Alright, so let's vi for.puts.c again. So with, sorry, where is the name? For puts.c. Oh, so for dash puts, sorry, not for puts. Alright. So yes, with the printf I can also add one more thing, right? So printf can make me do something they call format specifier. So for example, if I want to print a number and I don't have the value of the number yet, okay, so I can just say %d for numbers, right, and then comma, and then I will say this %d, I want to add probably 5 and 6 together, and then it should put the answer here, right? Then I can come back and execute it. GCC for puts. Let's see. What is this? For put. Okay, so for where's our code? Yes, so we've compiled it, and then where is it? Can you see it added it and wrote 11 here? So with printf I can also do that, but if I try that with put, it will not work. Okay, so I won't be trying that because of time. And then there's one more function that you should know, and then we'll go to the next topic. Okay, so vi puts.c. So someone trying to join, sorry. Okay, no. Alright, so the next one we'll be doing is, sorry, vagrant. Okay, so the next one is the put char, right? Put char, and then this one is only used to print one character at a time. Okay, so you can use it to print one character at a time. All right, so for this one, instead of using double quote, you use single quote because it's one character, and then you can use it to print probably A or B or C. Okay, so I'll use this one to print B, and then I'll recompile, and then we run, and then you can see B. Okay, so if I want to print new line, I can also use it to print new line. Okay, but because it can only print one thing at a time, I'll have to reuse it and say put char. Okay, and then I would print new line. I would say print new line. So I can only use, so put will print this. Printf has more power because it can do so many calculation and stuff, it can hold so many things for us. Put char can only print one character. So if I do this one, we compile it and run it, you see that the B now this vagrant has come down. The new line is showing. Okay, so basically that's it. I don't know if you have any questions before. Let me just go through it and then we'll move to the next topic. Anyone with a question? Why is this not? I can't see it. You have any question?
Sorry, I joined in late.
Oh,
Can you explain more
you
about put
okay, like I
the
said,
put function?
because of time, I won't want to go back too much. But the thing is, put function is used just to print to the out to print to the standard output, like for you to see. If you want to print a particular text, like how are you? Are you fine? So you can use the put function. Okay, you just write put, open bracket, close bracket, end with semicolon, and inside the bracket you put your quotes and write whatever you want to write inside. Okay, so I don't know if that helps. So let me just VI into it again one more time and then I'll just go through it. Okay, so like I said, put, look at it. Put is used to print, like I want to print this thing to the screen. Okay, so I will use put function. I want to print to the screen, I can use printf as well. And if I want to print one single character, not number but character, I will then use put char. If you want to print numbers, you can't use put char. You can use put char, but you have to let's try it. So put char, okay, and then I say you should print 0. Okay, compare. Okay, can you see that it printed okay, it printed 0 actually, but let me use another because it's going to use ASCII. If you want to print number, you have to use ASCII representation. So let me print 48. No, 48 is too much. Let me print, I think, yeah. So it's saying that multi-character, right? It's saying multi-character. We can't use multi-character. So let's change it now and use. I think 8 might still work. I'm not sure. I'm trying to make it not work.
Can it accept like variables like printf?
I don't get what you said.
Like instead of you typing this, can you pass in like a variable name, then it prints out whatever is in the variable?
If the variable is one character,
Okay.
yeah. If the
Is
variable
that the
is
same thing with put function?
put cannot print out variable. It can only print out words. Okay,
Okay.
it can't print out. It
Yeah.
can only print out words. So if you need to print variable, you will need to use printf and or putchar. But putchar can only print one character at a time. So you have to use putchar probably 10 times or 50 times if you need to print 10 characters.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So
Sorry, what about F?
what about
Scan F?
okay? Scanf is used to accept input. Okay, is used to we've not I don't think we've done anything with scanf so far, but scanf is used to accept something from outside. For example, if I'm on my command prompt and then I'm here, so I can say if I run the program, I can say probably from outside 4 plus 5, and then scanf would accept this 4 and 5 inside the program, run it, and then give me the output. Okay, so that's what scanf is for. But so far we've not done scanf, and then
All right.
so let's go and let me see. So um, this one we've gone through it, so you can just check the C videos we did before. So what we've done so far is, I think it is where we started to code. Where is it? Okay, you say write a C program that prints exactly these words, so that you should not use the function puts. Okay, so all you need to do is put your header file, put your int that you should return 0. Because it's returning 0, you are going to start with int, and then you put your main, open bracket, close bracket. Inside that curly braces bracket, you put your void, and then open your curly braces, write your put, write this word inside, and then return 0, and then you are done with this one. Okay, so I hope you understand these jargons I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so with this one, you have to just write, do the same thing, and then write printf, open bracket, close bracket, your semicolon, and inside you do your quotation, and then you put this guy inside, and then followed by new line slash n, and then you are good to go. Return 0 as well. Okay, and then let's go. So this one, where is it? Write a C program that print size. Okay, this one I won't really go deep inside it right now, but I think I did it in the last C video. Okay, so because this one is talking about data types, right? So probably in the next video we're going to talk about data types. So let's go to the next task, and we're going to talk about this guy and probably the next one. Okay, so this one is still a script. No, this one is not a script. Okay, this one is using the write function. Okay, so we'll do both that too in the next video. So let me just go to the second task and open it, so we'll be able to do both at a go. Alright, so for the second one we have the variables if, else, and while. Okay, so okay.
Can you please check and admit those people who wants to join?
All right. I'm not sure. Okay.
I think you should allow somebody to be doing that for you. So
Yeah. But probably I think that should be when I'm setting up. I have to add one person. Or I don't know if I can.
you said?
Let me see if I can do that from now, from here. Probably next video I'm going to set that up. All right. So variable if, else, and while. Okay. So we've been doing so far we did accepting numbers, right? Like we imputed, for example, like this vi 4 puts dot c, right? So we imputed these numbers here. Okay, all right. So variables are like the way I say it, they are like containers where you can save some figures or some names or some words or some data. You can save data inside those baskets. So variables, see them as like a container or a basket where you can keep something on your program, right? And then use them whenever you are writing your codes. Okay, so you can save different data types. You know what data is? Like different information, different numbers, different figures. You can save them. Okay, so in C, based on a particular data, there's different basket for those data. So there's a basket to save a normal number like 0, 1, 2, 3, a positive or negative integer, right? Without a full stop, without a decimal, right? So a normal number, we use the data type, the variable called int. So this int, okay, would help us save numbers like 1, 2, 3. And then when we want to declare it, we write int that we want to save this we want to save numbers. But because we can save different numbers, like we can save some numbers inside this basket, we can save another number inside another basket, we can save another number inside another basket. We have to be able to differentiate which basket we are saving this. Probably we are saving the numbers of eggs that we have in a particular basket. We are saving another numbers of creams that we have in another basket. So we would probably have so many ints, and then it can be confusing. You won't know which one to save. Because of that, we can then C allows us to name that particular basket, which is the variable, right? So we can name it and give it this one egg, that I'm saving eggs inside, and then this one I'm saving probably balls inside. Okay, so this is the variable name. Okay, so this one, by doing this and putting your semicolon, it's just that I've created this basket down, but I've not put anything inside. So if I need to put anything inside this guy, then I'll say equals to, okay, maybe I'm keeping 7 inside this guy, and then I end it, and then inside this guy I'm putting 8 inside, and then I end it. I can also do it this way. After declaring it, okay, Then I can call that basket and say balls, the balls basket, I want to save 65 or 6457 inside. Okay, so this integer allow us to save these normal numbers, right? So the second one we have is we have another basket we use to save characters, right? So we have the char, right? Characters. So character, we can use it to save just one digit. Okay, so there's also what we call arrays of characters that can hold okay, let me explain it this way. So character, this char, we can use it to save one digit at a time. So we'll have to give it a name. So probably this one will just be your initial. Okay, so you have to give it a name. So we created this basket to save initial. All right, so we can also do it this way, that okay, we want to save like a name, egg. Okay, but character can only save one at a time. Okay, and then we need to save egg. So what we'll do is we'll put those baskets together beside each other, so that we'll then arrange it. We'll save E in first basket, G in second basket. So that one is what we call arrays. Okay, they are like those baskets brought together in chains, like beside each other, so that we can use all of them at a go. You understand? So that's what arrays are about. I'm just trying to, I think there's someone trying to join. All right, so where are we? Okay, so that is what arrays is all about. And then if you want to declare an array, you have to use this symbol, and then array of character will have something like this, and then we can say THE, right, showing that we are saving THE. Like this square bracket shows that it is that basket that is beside each other, which is an array. Okay, so that's that. So we can use that, and we can also we can also just save one particular word. Okay, and then say it's equal to A. For this one, we use single quotes for one word. Okay, so another one is the float. Okay, the float is another basket that we use to save numbers, but the numbers would have decimal points. Okay, so we can give this one our GPA. Okay, and then say this one is 7.690, right? Okay, so this one is having, and then we also have double. Okay, so we can double 2 is also used to save decimal points, but the thing is double can save to larger decimal places, unlike float, because of the size of double. Okay, the size of the basket of double is very big, while float has a small size. So I'm just using that to explain. And yeah, so we can call this one an, or big man. Okay, we are saving, and then this one can save like 7, this 2, right? And then we have this, right? This can save up to this. So this is what double does. Okay, one more thing is that the variables, which is the baskets we are using to store data, can also store negative numbers. Okay, so I can store -7 here, and I can store -9 points, -7.90 here, right? I think we still have time. Okay, good. So I can store negative numbers here. So if I declare a basket that I can use to store negative and positive number, what they do is that they divide the basket into 2 and allow us to be able to save negative number somewhere, positive number somewhere. Okay, so in order not to, probably we don't want to work with negative numbers, and we know that if we just declare a variable like this, it's going to reserve some space for negative, some space for positive, and we want to use only positive numbers, so that we'll have enough space. We'll use those negative space for positive as well. Then for that one, we can then put unsigned here, telling it that we want to use the space of the signed. Sign means the sign minus, right? So we want to use minus space for this basket. Okay, so that basket will now be able to accommodate much more positive numbers. Okay, so if you don't declare it like this, it is assumed that it is signed, that it's going to declare, and you can also put it there that it is signed. Probably you want to use, you are just trying to, but if you don't use it, it is assumed that it is signed. But if you want more space, then you just have to use the unsigned. Okay, unsigned will make it so also there's an extension to make it even much more longer or much more bigger, okay, which is using the long. Okay, long, so you can use long, there's long. Okay, so long will make it even much more bigger. Okay, so I'm just trying to use that layman language. So the thing I want you to do now is, after this class, just try and read anything on whatever we've done so far, and I assure you that whenever you are reading it, it's going to be much more easier, because you need to read and you need to practice. Okay, just try and practice, you can dedicate your Sunday, use it to practice the whole of Sunday. Okay, if you watch alone, you understand, is not good enough. You need to still practice. That is the best way in order for you to grab these things. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding these data types that I explained, let me know, so I can still, so we can move on. So these are like variables. Okay, variables are, see them as baskets where you can save something inside. Okay, they call them data types. These are data types, right? So if you have any questions, let me know.
I have a question, please.
All right.
I got confused when you explained the unsigned and signed part. The unsigned part, do you mean if it is indicated in front of the variable I want to declare? If I put unsigned, it means the item I want to put there should be in minus,
No.
or I don't really get.
Okay. Normally, when you don't put anything, it means that it is signed. That that basket would reserve space for negative number and positive number, showing that it has sign inside. Right? That is signed. But if I want it to receive more space, I don't want to deal with negative number. Maybe I'm just calculating the number of people that I'm giving food to. Okay, because I want to have negative number. Okay, or the number
Yeah.
of staffs that I have in a particular company. Okay, so I don't want to work with negative number. Then I can, and I want to work with larger numbers, because I know that using the ordinary name would allocate space for negative and positive, take making the space I have for positive to be shorter. Okay, and I want a longer number. Maybe I'm dealing with the whole of Nigeria, millions of people, or the whole world, billions of people. Okay, and I need to store those data, so I can use unsigned, telling it to remove those sign from it. It is now unsigned, it is now pure positive. You can only say positive number. When it is signed,
Can you help us see what you're explaining?
okay, so yeah, so
This thing I don't know where to put
please kindly mute
it.
yourself if you're not
It's mine. Huh? Okay, this one is for Destiny.
please kindly mute yourself.
Destiny. Mhm.
All right. Okay, so yes, so like I was saying, I think we still have some time. Okay, so this integer, for example, now, all right, it's this guy is a basket called, we named that basket egg, right? So this basket can save negative numbers, it can save positive numbers, right? So if we declare an integer has 4 bytes, okay, so it means that 2 bytes will be used to save negative numbers, 2 bytes will be used to save positive numbers. Okay, so if we want to use all the 4 bytes to save only positive numbers, then we can come here and say unsigned, that it should give us a basket that does not have space for negative number, that it should give us an unsigned basket, unsigned integer. Okay, so that's what this guy is saying, that give us unsigned, so that we can save only positive. So if we have unsigned, it means that we'll be able to save probably like 5 billion or 7 million or 7 billion. I think there's a particular range in which they can save, so you can look up to that as well. Okay, so unsigned will only would allow you to save positive value up to a longer value, right? But when you have signed, or you don't have anything, if you don't have anything, it is considered to be signed. But if you still put the signed, it's still the same thing. This one, and so this guy over here and this guy over here, they are the same. Okay, so for them to be different, I just need to put unsigned. Okay, and then this one would only save positive. This one will still save negative and positive. Okay, so the only thing is that when it is unsigned, I can save more, much more longer not values than when it is signed. This one I will not be able to save. The limitation is you can't save negative. This one you can save negative, you can save positive, but the range is short to what you can save. Okay, so I don't know if you still have question. Let me know. Does anyone still have question? Do you have questions? No? Should I consider that as a no?
You can continue.
Yeah.
Alright, good. Very good. So, back to the project. So we have variables, and I think we understand what variables are. So what I need you to do is read about variables. Simple. Okay? So you will get more understanding, you understand the concept. So we have if statements. If else, they work hand in hand. Okay, and then this one is a loop, right? So we'll go into if else right now, and then we'll work with it. Okay, so if, so let me see if, sorry. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me see if I have a file that has some if, so I don't need to functions nested loop, hello world. Okay, yes. Okay, good. All right, so let's go to zero positive. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so let's go to the task and see. So we'll use the if statement, and I think along the line we'll use the while loop. All right. So you see, this one talks about the integers. All these ones will talk about those signed and unsigned. If statement is what we are going through now, and then we'll talk about while loop, right? So for the if statement, let's see the first task. Okay. So this one says that this program would assign a random number. So there's a program here. If you click on it, it's going to open. So this program would assign a random number to n. Okay, so let me open it. So you would, I think you will understand it now. Since you understand variable, you will be able to understand it. Okay, so it's loading. So let me continue with it. Each time it is executed, that is, whenever you execute that program, random number, this n is now a variable. Okay, is an integer variable. I think it's going to be seen here. I don't know, this one is still loading. Okay, good. All right, can you see they've declared an integer, which is that basket, and they gave it n, a name, right? But they haven't put any value inside. Okay, so this, they now said n equals to, this guy is the one giving it, feeding its value. Okay, so this guy is feeding it some value, and is feeding it, as you can see, rand, showing that it's feeding it random value. So whenever you execute it, it's going to print out, it's going to give this guy, it's going to save different value inside that basket. Okay, so that's what they are telling you, that random number is inside whenever you execute it. Okay, so, and then each time complete the source code in order to print whether the number stored is positive. So you want to know if the number is positive or negative. So you can use the if statement in order to detect this. Okay, so the if statement. So you can say if the number of n, okay, is, so they said, I think, complete the source code to print whether it's positive or negative. Okay, you can find the source code here. The variable n will store a different value every time you run it. You don't have to understand what those command does, how it works, right? He said you don't have to understand it for now. Okay, so, and then he said the number followed by the output should be what? The number followed by 1 if the number is greater than 0. So if that n, if the, some, please kindly mute yourself. Talking. All right. So we said if, sorry. So if that number, if that n number is greater than 0, okay. So if that n that is inside that basket is greater than 0, like these words have already given you what it said if. So it means you are using if statements, and then you say if n is greater than 0, then it should print out is positive. Simple. Then second condition. So if it is not greater than 0, it means it is probably less than 0. So if the number, this one is greater than 0, if the number is exactly 0, it should print is 0. And if the number is less than 0, it should print is negative, and then a new line. Okay, simple. So basically what you do is, let me go into, so this n is, then you put your code here, right? Since they've declared n to be random numbers, right? Then you put your code here. They've already done return type. You put your header file here so that Betty will accept you. And can you see the header? They put 2 header files here, and then you can put your standard IO. Additionally, the standard IO will allow you to print out using the printf, right? So let me go into this guy. Okay, so this is the code. I think this is it. Yes. So this is standard, like this is the time I added standard IO, right? So this is the one that came with it, these 2, right? And then, no, up to this guy, these 3, right? So we added these guys here. Okay, good. So if statement is a condition in which, to do if statement, you have your if, and then your open bracket, and then close brackets, right? It's just a function. You know, function is just the function name, and then bracket open, bracket close. And then for if statements, you will now have a curly braces, and then that finishes it. So this one will be your condition. You put a condition here. If that condition is met, then it should do whatever is inside that curly braces. Okay, so as usual, you will do your int. All this one came with it. Okay, so if this condition is met, you should do this guy, and then if it is not met, then it's going to come to the next line. So C program works line by line. So when this program wants to execute, it will first read this thing. It will say that, okay, there's n. It will say that, okay, n has random number. It will come line by line. Okay, then it will execute this guy and see that, okay, when you execute it, it will look at that n, look at the value inside, see that, okay, the value is 2. Then it will check, is 2 greater than 0? Okay, 2 is greater than 0, then it will just print is positive. Then once it does print this is positive, it will not execute all the other else if, all these guys. So the way if statement works is that you use if you want to compare between 2 things, right? You use if, and then, like, if this thing is yellow, give me some balls. Else, if it's 2 things, you just else will not have this brackets. It would have been nice if I'm coding along, but I'm just trying to save time. All right, so else will not be able to else will not have these curly braces, because if this thing is not there, it means that it is this one, if we are comparing between 2 things. But because we are comparing between 3 things, that's why we said if, and then we are using another if, but because it's the second if, that is why we use else if again, this thing, then this is the last one, then we can use else. But some people can still use else if for this last part, it will still work. Okay, so you can use if, and then the second time has to be else if, majorly. Okay, and then you have else for the last time. So if it is just two times, you can just use if and then else. If it's just once, you just use this if this thing is greater than this, do this thing, else don't do anything. Okay, so what we did is, if that n is greater than 0, you should print, you know how to use print f now, so you should print, we use percent %d, you should print the number and is positive, right? So we don't know the number yet, that is why we did percent %d. Okay, and we said with printf we can do this, and then we say that okay, we specify n here, that whatever value n is, put it inside this percent %d. Percent %d is used for printing integers, right? For printing floats, you know, we talked about floats in variables, right? You use percent %f, right? For printing doubles, you use percent %lf, showing that it is a long float. And then for printing character char, you use percent %c. Okay, and then we have for printing string as well, using percent %s. Okay, so percent %d, you want to print an integer, right? And then you specify the name of the integer here, and then it's going to print. You now say else, if you open your bracket again, if that n is 0, this is equal to, okay, equal to is double equal to 0, you should print is 0, and then you should print the value. It means that 0 will be printed here. Or else you should just print the value. It means that it's going to be negative. So if it is not positive and it's not 0, it means that it is negative. Okay, so if you do this thing, push it to GitHub and submit it, ALS will check your GitHub, check this code, see that it is right, and then it will mark you. So for you to be sure that your code is working perfectly, then you can just execute your code yourself. Where is it? 0 is positive, dot slash 0 is positive. Okay, so I want to execute it. It's showing that so I think we don't have new line inside, so let me put a new line. Clear. You have 0 is positive. Okay, so inside this place I want to add new line. I just do slash n. So once it prints any of them, it's going to put new line. So I'll add new line to every the 3. Okay. Alright. So we execute it. We compile, sorry. GCC. I might not be able to. Will I be able to use it main? Let me see. That's 0 is positive. Let's see. Yeah, it is main. Okay, I'll be able to execute it. So GCC 0 is positive, but C, the output as positive or positive. Oh, sorry. Output as posse. Okay, so I'll have the posse. Where is this posse? Okay, so I want to execute posse now. Okay, can you see it printed it with a new line? Let me clear. Alright, so it shows that it is that n percent %d here is now minus this, and it shows that it is negative. If I rerun it, another number is generated showing that it's positive now. If I rerun it, it shows that it's negative, so I can keep running it. Probably I will get 0 one day, and then tell me that it is equals to 0. But it's probably almost impossible to get that. Okay, so that is how if statements work. So it's just a condition saying that okay, if this thing works, you should execute that thing that is inside. So I don't know if you have any questions with this if. Probably we'll still go through some other tasks. Let me know if you have
I have
questions. All right.
okay. So when you like, if we want to print like using printf and we want to print out a string, you said we specify with
Percent
percent
S.
%s. Is that
Yeah.
so? What if in the case where I want to save a string in form of in a car, like if I declare a char variable. You know, you
Yes,
said I can place and
yes,
one
yes, yes.
characters.
That's going to be arrays of char, right?
Yeah, so if you want to print that out, am I using percent %C or percent
We are
%S?
going to use percent %s because it has become a string that way.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I
Percent
got it.
s, if you look at it, percent s does not really have a particular what data type that you are saving to. It's not like we have a data type called string that you can use to print string. It's still char that you are
Yeah,
going to use, character that you are going to use, but it is in that sense that you're asking that you actually use it.
all right. Thank you.
All right, good. That's a good question. All right, so if you have any question with if statements, so for now, any question? So after if statement, we are doing while loop. Okay, so I don't know. I think I should just go to while loop straight because of time. I think we have 3 minutes more for now. Okay, so does anyone have any question before we go to the next one?
I think I can see on my screen that this call will end in 4 minutes.
Yeah, it
How
will.
true is that?
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. I don't want to send another link, but probably I'm going to still send one more link. So we'll have 1 more hour to go through to continue. Okay, because I still have one more cohort to take. So we'll have 1 more hour, and yeah. So
Uh, is it going to be recorded?
yes, it's being recorded right now.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, it's being recorded. So since there's no one having issue with if, so I implore you, go back to Hello World, go and practice it, like practice it. It will stick more. And the thing with these tasks is that once you finish one yourself, the next one will become a bit much more easier. Like if you skip one task, the second one would, the next one would be very hard for you to comprehend. Okay, so go to Hello World, try and do it. It will be very fast. Do it. The second task, which we are doing now, try and do it yourself. Even if you copy, if you try and look at it, understand it. After understand it, recode it. Okay, if you recode it after a while, you still forget. It's not, but you have to just understand it now, and then with time it will then stick. Okay, so um the last one for this one is the while loop, right? So let's see. Okay, we've done this one, and then so write a program that prints the alphabet in lowercase followed by a new line. So this one, I think this is where we start using the while loop. Okay, so I'll just explain. Okay, we have 1 more minute, and then I'll send a new link to the group now, so you can join. So we'll explain while loop and see if we can still do one more project. So it will be 3 projects. So I'll want you to go through the 3 projects till tomorrow evening, and then tomorrow evening we'll still have another class, probably still do probably 3 more projects like that. Okay, so I think that will work. Bye. I think, yeah, it's going to end now. Okay, so I'll send a new link now. It's going to end now. We have a few seconds. All right, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Call is about to end. Yeah, hand. We're creating on the mountain. Trying to create. Okay. And so create a new meeting. Start meeting.
You should probably assign somebody to be admitting people in
I should
for you.
try that now. Let me see if I can try that.
Quickly do that, man. Hmm?
Welcome, guys. So I'm trying to assign someone to be at the meeting. I'm still looking for the option here. Whiteboard. Oh, there's a whiteboard here. Oh, nice. We'll start in the next 2 minutes.
Okay.
I can't find the option here.
Are you serious? Let me
Yeah.
see. Let me see.
I think it might be from when I'm creating the meeting. I have to add an admin or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. All right. So for now, let's just continue. Probably next class. So we've talked about the if statement, and we were going to the next one, which is the while loop, and then we'll dive into that. Okay, I think there's someone. Please kindly mute yourself if there's noise from your end. Alright, thank you. Alright, good. So let's go back and back to where we are. So I think some people are still trying to join. Okay. Alright. A lot of distraction. Okay, so let's try and tackle this question and see how the while loop works, right? So the while loop is functioning as two kind of loop. We have the while loop, we have the do while loop. Okay, so if you look at the English word while loop, it means that while something is true, keep doing this thing. Okay, so that's what the loop, loop is to repeat something over and over and over and over. Okay, so the loop helps you to so for example, let's say someone is trying to log in his account and is putting wrong password. So while the person is putting wrong password, keep telling the person to re-enter password. So that's what while loop can do. Okay, so it will allow someone to keep repeating something as far as that thing is true. Okay, so let's go into it. So for this one, the name of the file is to print alphabet.c. Let me see if I have that file here. To print alphabet.c vi2 okay, good. All right, good. Okay, I use for loop here. All right, I'll just convert it to a while loop. I'm trying to convert it. Okay, so this is the while. Yeah, let me just this is the 2 points. I want to see that it's working. Okay, as you can see, I've compiled it, executed it, and it's printed A to Z for me, right? Though I didn't put a new line. Okay, so I'll explain what happened and how you are supposed to tackle with this task. Okay, so what ALX did is they didn't want you to be using the put, the printf, and the put char, right? So let me vi into that guy again. Right, good. So if you, okay, here we still use the normal put char, right? Probably the next task we're not using it. Okay, so we did our header files, right? Header files, and then we did commenting for Betsy to accept it, and then your basic C program will have this int main void, right? This int showing that it's returning 0. Main is just a name, but main is a very powerful name. Whenever your program sees that main, it knows that it wants to execute whatever is inside that main. So all functions in C are executed inside the main function. Okay, so it shows that we are not passing, this void shows that we are not passing parameter to this main. So the task we did, the last task, which is argc and argv, talks about when, it now talks about when you can actually put some things inside this main dot, this main. Okay, so we've not gotten to that one right now. So okay, I think the video will be ready soon. Okay, so we want to print A to Z, right? And I think they gave us some rules that we have to, we could just, the thing is, we could just say, okay, declare an array char and then write A to Z inside, and then I'll just use printf to print it. I can just write print, in fact I can just do like this, I can just forget about the code. I'll just say printf, right? So I'm to print A to Z. I can do like this and write A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q, like that, and then I don't need all this nonsense. And then if I do this, it's going to print A B C D A to Z for me to my screen. Okay, so basically I think we are told not to use printf, we are told not to do this, you see. So write a program that print alphabet in lowercase followed by a new line. Okay, so you can only use putchar. So they've limited you to using putchar, right? So putchar can only print one word at a time, they know. So that you are not allowed to use printf and puts, they know that you can do that, so they said you should not use this. So all your code should be in the main function, we know that. And then you can only use putchar twice, because they know that even if they said you should use putchar, you can just come here and then just say putchar. Since putchar will print character, right? Then I'll just say putchar, this one should print A, sorry, this one should print A, and then I'll just have probably 21 putchar, right? I'll just do like this, and then this one should print B, right? So now they limited us to only 2, and we had to print one with the character and one with new line. So I didn't even add the one with new line. So the new line will be here, and then the line like this. Alright, so okay, so one should have we can only use 2. So because of that, that is why we are using the loop to keep on doing something as long as something is wrong. And how do we use that? This is a while loop, right? So I said, since I want to print characters, so we declared a character called C. So instead of this C, in order not to confuse you, so you know character are like, these variables are like baskets, right? So I can say this one is to alphabet basket, okay? So I called an empty basket and I said it is alphabet basket, okay? So inside the basket, what I did, because character would only save one element, right? So inside the empty basket, I only saved A inside. So I said alphabet basket is now having A inside, okay? So I will not say while alphabet basket, okay, is less than or equal to, so alphabet basket, as long as it is less than Z, alphabet basket is A, right? As long as A is less than or equal to Z, it should keep printing alphabet basket. So if I do like this, I'll show you something. I know it might be confusing right now, but you'll understand it now. Alphabet basket. Okay, let me delete this guy. Okay, so if I do this thing, if you look at it, A is less than and is equal to Z, right? So if I say this, if I put this command and I put this thing, while loop would allow it to be pucher will print alphabet basket. And what is alphabet basket? A. It will keep printing A. It means that if I run this thing like this, it will just be printing A. Please, can you mute yourself?
Please allow people.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right. So alphabet basket would keep this guy, this condition here will continue as long as it is true. If once it is not true, then it will go to the next line, because C operates line by line. So it will come here, it will see that okay, we've created the basket. Inside the basket there's A, and then while A is less than Z, right? Okay, so as long as A is less than Z, keep doing this thing. Okay, so it will keep printing this. Let's try and execute it. You see our stuff can even, sorry. Okay, so executing will be gcc 2.c. the output as, what did I give it? I think alphabet, right? Where's that name? Alphabet. I don't want to have too many contents. Okay, I've compiled it. So if I run alphabet, for example, now you see that it's printing A. It's not stopping, right? Hey, I don't enter Wala. Okay, yeah. So I've stopped it. So it will keep printing that that command, right? Because it is true. It is true. So it will keep on going back to that while loop. Let's go back to the while loop. Right? So it will keep on going, it will execute this thing. It is true. So this is a loop. It will execute this guy. It say that it will just print A, go back to display, 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 print A, go back to, it will never print this new line. That's why that A is going like that. A. So in order for it to go to the next thing, we then say that it should increase whatever is inside this guy by 1. So whenever it increases A by 1, it becomes B, right? So we can say alphabet basket is equals to alphabet basket plus 1. So what I said is, it will come here, execute this code, right? It will check it, this condition, say okay, A is less than Z, right? Yes. Then it will print A. It will come in, because it's still inside the while loop, it will come here, and then alphabet basket is A initially, then we've added 1 to alphabet basket, then it will become B. So it will now come here again. Is B less than or equal to Z? Yes, it is less than Z. Then it will print B. It will come here, this guy would add 1 to it, and then it will become C until it get to Y. Okay, Y is less than Z. Yes, then it will print Y. Increase it by 1. Z is less than Z. No, but it's equal to Z. Yes, it will print Z. So another character after Z is probably in the ASCII table, probably it is maybe exclamation mark, for example. So it will check, is exclamation mark less than this? No. Is it equal to this? No. Then it will now come here and print new line. It will exit the while loop, print new line, and return 0. Okay, so with this, let's first do this. So let's recompile. I know someone is trying to join, but I will allow them in. Can you see we have A to Z and we have that new line, right? So another way of writing that alphabet plus 1 is that plus plus that we added. So I could just go inside this place. So instead of writing this guy, I will just say alphabet plus plus. So this thing is saying that increase it by 1. It's still the same thing as what I did earlier. So if I recompile and re-execute, it's still the same thing. Okay, so I don't know do you understand this. So after this I'll do the do while loop, and then we'll just go through some of the tasks and then go to the next topic. All right, so does anyone have questions so far? Does anyone have a question so far? Any question? Should we continue? Okay, seems you are getting it then. Any question? No question?
No question.
Alright, good. Great. So that is that. So let us use it for do while loop. Okay, I think I'm not sure. Do while loop, majorly you might not even use do while loop throughout, but I just want to explain how the syntax is and how to use it. But I think throughout the entire stuff you might not use do while loop. Okay, so let's see. But sometimes it is essential. So you just know that it's once you know while loop, you know do while loop already. So let's see. So we have three loops. We have while loop, do while loop, and for loop. Okay. So while loop and for loop, they can do the same thing. As you can see that I turned the for loop here to while loop, right? And then do while loop is just slightly different. Okay. So we have this while loop, right? Okay. We have this while loop. So if I want to turn this while loop to do while loop, this guy here, okay, I'll copy it. Let me go to insert mode. Let's see if that's the execution. Okay, let me just use Ctrl C and see if it copies. Okay, that's copied. So you see what I did? I copied this guy, I brought it to the end here, right? I brought it to the end, so I'll remove it here. I'll remove it. Then I'll replace it with do, and this is it. Okay. Okay, do, and then wow. So, and at the end of this place I'll add this. So this one, the difference between do while loop is that while loop will first check condition, right, before doing whatever is inside this bracket, but do while loop will first do at least one of that thing. It will first print it before checking condition. Okay, so that's just the difference. There's a simple example I'm supposed to give to explain this thing better, but let me try and execute this guy and save it. See. So what we said is that you should print alphabet, right? You should print alphabet, increase alphabet by 1, right? So it's going to become B, and then is B greater than or equal to Z, right? So okay, I'm going to do something. All right, so let me undo it. Undo. All right, good. All right, so we have our while loop back, right? So for example, if our alphabet is Z, right? Okay, then I said, okay, as long as alphabet is greater than Z, right, you should do this thing. You should print alphabet and then increase alphabet. You know that this stuff will not get executed because Z is not greater than Z. So this one will not get executed. It will just print new line. So let me execute it and let you so that you can. Oh, geez. Let me execute it and make you see. All right. Can you see? Only new line. So while loop, sometimes if the condition is not met, is not true, it will not execute it. But do while loop will first print whatever is inside that curly braces before the condition is being looked at. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so that is while loop. So there are some cases where while loop will not even get executed. All right. So but for do while loop, if we change it to do while loop, let me copy this guy, go to insert, copy. All right. So I remove this guy, right? I replace it with do. I come down and then I paste this guy here, right? I place it with while. Okay, so I'm telling it that you know that it will not execute normally, but the thing is, do while loop will allow it to print z first. Say do this thing, print z, and then check if z is greater than z, right? So let me try and execute this guy. So we compile. Okay. Can you see we had z, right? Wait, I think I added some rubbish here. Let me see. Did I? Okay, sorry. Alright, let me see. Okay, I don't know why it's printing this guy. Anyway, but the do while loop will first perform whatever is inside that that coily braces before it checks the condition. If the condition is not met, let me go back there. If the condition is not met, okay, if this condition is not met, then it will just print new line. Okay, so that's the slight difference between do while loop and while loop. Okay, while loop will check condition before executing code. Do while loop will first print the code before executing the while loop. Okay, so that's the difference. You have a question?
In the do while loop, that alphabet basket plus plus, is it not supposed to be under the while condition?
No, no.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be. So we have the while, right? The do while, this block of code comes before the condition. While, for while, condition comes before the block of code. So it's just like do something, it has to do something, and this is the something that it has to do. Okay, you are trying to say if this guy should come down, yeah? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
No, no, no,
Yes.
no, no,
That's
no,
what I'm
no,
saying.
no, no, no. It has to be like this. If I change the value now to A, it's going to print A to Y, right? Because when it gets to Z, Z is not greater than Z, unless I put greater than or less than or equal to. No, less than. So if I put less than, okay? So let's try and execute it. Can you see? We still have A to Y. Using the do while loop. It still functions as what while loop would do. So if I wanted to print A to Z, all I need to do is just add equals to here. It's less than equals to. Sorry. Right? We compile. Right? A to Z. So do while loop will still perform the task of while loop. But the difference is that do while loop will first do it first. The thing is it will print this A first before checking condition. But while loop will check condition before even starting to print A. So just slight difference. It will just do one thing first before checking condition. While loop will check condition first before doing it. Okay. So I don't know if that explains it. Okay. So we can just go through the task and we go to the next stuff. So I think we've talked about the variable if else and while like that. So let me know if you have any questions. Do you have any questions? Any question?
No.
No question. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So let's just scan through the questions and see what we can do. All right. So um, so this one says that write a program that prints alphabets in lowercase and then in uppercase. Okay. So now you said we can only use picture. You know that you use your while loop to print the lowercase. You can use another while loop to print in uppercase. So let's see. If you use one while loop to print in lowercase, you put one picture inside. Use another one to print in uppercase, you put one picture inside, and then you can use the last picture to print a new line. Okay, so that's why they say you can only use 3 times. So let's just check vi into this file and just look through it. 3 print alphabets.c. So vi3 print alphabets.c. Okay, so I'm using my for loop. Forgive me for using it here. Anyway, so we have the first guy here, so I can convert it to while loop as well. You still need to know for loop as well. They have different syntax. This is not English, and I don't want this thing to waste time. Okay, let me just see. I think the one on sandbox is the for loop, is the while loop. So let me just see if I can access this one. So what's the task again? 3 print variable. What's the OXO1? Alright. Is it 3 print alphabet? Let's see. Okay, good. Alright. So we used 2 while loop, and then as you can see, we created 2 baskets, right? So the first basket we called it lower, and then the second basket we called it upper, and then we saved just one words inside because character would only save 1 word, right? So we then use our while loop to print lower and say that as long as lower is less than equal to z, right, it should print lower, picture lower, right? And then we increase lower by 1, so it's going to keep increasing and it's going to print. And then this one, as long as upper, which is capital letter A, is less than equal to capital letter Z, it should print upper plus plus, and then print newer, and then return 0. You understand this, right? We should go to the next one. Do you?
Yes, we do.
Great. So the next project talks about this guy. He said, write a program that prints alphabet in lowercase followed by a new line. Print all the alphabet except Q and E. Okay, and then this one now we are going to use the while loop, and we are going to use our if statement. Okay, so we will say that while it is printing that thing, whenever it gets to Q or whenever it gets to E, so if it is Q and E, it should not print it out. So that's the command we are going to give it. So whenever you have projects like this, one more thing that you need to do is just try, and once you understand what you want to do, first of all, you need to understand what you want to do. You can probably just write it down and do it normally, okay, and then just convert it into code, because these things, there are no single way of doing them. They are like probably like 50, 100 ways of solving a particular task. Okay, so yeah, so this one says it should not print Q and E, and then you can only use putchar. You can't use these guys because they know that you can just write it inside printf, and all your code should be in the main function. Okay, your code should be in the main function, and then you can only use putchar twice in your code. It means you are going to use probably just one while loop because you are printing a new line, see, followed by a new line. So one putchar will print a new line, second one will be inside for loop printing A to Z, but you just restrict it from printing Q and E. Okay, so that's what we want to do. And then the name is for print alphabet dot C. So let me see. VI for print alphabet dot C. All right, good. So they are in lowercase. So we did the stuff. We write our header file, everything. You understand everything like this, except this guy. And this is the guy that will just limit it from printing Q and E. And what we said is, if just one if, because we only did one condition, right? So I said if the alphabet, that's the basket, is not equal to Q and is not equal to E, that is, if it is not equal to Q and is not equal to E, that is when you should print this. You should print it. So it's going to be printing it. Once this and both conditions have to be true, right? So it when the loop is going, it will check is A equals to Z or less than Z. Yes, then it will come inside this place. It will check is that A, is not equal to Q, right? Yes. Okay, is A not equal to E? Yes, then it will just print A, and then it will increase A by 1. A becomes B. Let's go back here. Is B less than or equal to C? Yes. Okay, to come here. Is B not equal to Q? Yes, it's not equal to. So, is B not equal to E? Yes, it's not equal to. Then it will print this guy. So, when it gets to E, for example, so it will check E, is E less than? Yes, it is. It will check, is E not equal to this guy? Yes, it is not equal to. Is E, please kindly mute yourself. Is E not equal to E? It is equal to E because it is not. It is equal to E because of that. It will not execute this guy. It will just increase it. It becomes F. It will go back again. It's F. It is until this one is false that it will leave this guy alone and come back down. So since this one is still true, it will keep going back to this guy, and then it is until this guy too. If this guy is false, it will not execute this guy, right? Okay, so as long as this guy is equal to this guy, it will not execute here, right? So whenever when it gets to Q2, it will check this guy, and then once it sees that Q is equal to this guy, it will not execute this thing. It will just increase it. Okay, so I don't know if you understand this. Let's go to the next one. Do you have any question on this one?
No, I want to ask if switch case can also be used to achieve this.
Okay, switch case would not be useful in the sense that switch case can only compare between a character and so many things. For example, we can say, okay, we want to compare. Switch cases would be necessary. It will be necessary whenever we are having probably so many if statements. Okay, so for example, if we can use switch cases in cases where you want to probably someone has A in an exam. Okay, so we say if the person's score is A, so based on whatever score you have, switch cases will only help you to print a particular answer, just one answer. Okay, so we can say that if your grade is A, we can have so many switch cases, and then we'll have switch case for A that, okay, when it is A, you should print this particular word. When it is B, when it is B, you should print this particular word. So switch case will just run through all your switches, and then pick the particular one that tallies with the input, and then print it out. But don't confuse yourself too much for now. Still go little by little. So for now, you are not using switch cases. There are some switch cases is very good when you have so many if statements, and then instead of using if else if else if else if, you just use switch cases because switch cases are shorter and they are faster. Okay, unlike if statements where you have to keep declaring and opening this and opening that. So for this one, you don't need to use switch cases if it's best used. Okay, so in the absence of no questions, let's go to the next one. And the next one, not supposed to go through all these tasks for you because it's just for you to know the concept and then try it out yourself. By looking for the answers yourself, those things stick more. Okay, they stick more than you just. And if you are being told the answer as well, practicing would make it stick more as well. Okay, so a program that prints single digits number of base 10, right? That's 0 to 9. Base 10 is 0 to 9, starting from 0 followed by a new line. And then all your code should be in the main function. I think this one too, you are not supposed to use your, you are still supposed to use putchar alone, right? So for this one, if you are using putchar cannot really print numbers. So we have what we call the ASCII table. So let me just quickly open ASCII table. You don't need to cram the ASCII table on your head because it is readily available. You can just Google it and then you access it and then see whatever you want to print. Okay. So if I want to print a character with putchar, if I want to print a number with putchar, right? So I know that I can't just put the number inside. Where's my image? That I have to put character. So instead of putting character, because I want to write 1 and I don't know which character represents 1 or something, right? So you use numbers. So where is it? So if I need to print A, for example, I think A represents 65. I need to print 0. Wait, I'm coming 0. Okay, yes. If I need to print this is character, you can see 0. This is decimal. Okay, so if I put 0, it represents 48 represents 0, 49 represents 1, and so on like that. But let's just go into the project and see. So we have 5 print number.c, and so let me be into 5 print number.c. Okay, so we have to print. We are still going to use the same stuff we used. We'll create but we are using character instead of integer, right? So because we are using putchar can only print character, right? So for now, because it is putchar, we use this char. We are using single quotes, right? If it is integer, we'll just write 0 and then put semicolon. But because we are using character, we use this guy. Okay, so we declared it should start from 0, and then we said as long as it is, I can also come here and say as long as it is less than 10. Okay, if I say as long as it's just less than 10, it will print, but less than equal to 9 will print from 0 to 9. If it is 10, I'll just put ordinary less than, because 10 is not less than 10, so it will stop at 9. So 9 is less than 9, but 9 is also equal to 9. So if you do like this, to print 0 to 9, and then they use putchar, and then because they are not printing they didn't pass in the value directly, they passed in the variable name. So putchar was able to print out that value to the screen, and then it is being increased here, right? So it will check 0 is less than this, right? True. It will come here, it will print 0, increase 0 by 1. 1 is less than this, it will print it. It will continue till they get to 9. 9 is less than this, it will print it. When they get to it will increase it. When you get to 10, is 10 less than or equal to 9? No. It will come here and print new line and return 0. Okay? So if you have any questions, let me know. And then we have this one. So write a program that prints all the single digits of this one followed by a new line. You are not allowed to use char, so you can use integer right now, right? You can only use putchar function you are you can use put char twice, and then your code should be in main. So this one is 6 print, and then bi sorry. All right. So this one we did the same thing, right? But this place is now integer, right? Integer, alphabet, and then because we are using put char, we have to use this guy, single quotes. Okay, and then same thing. This is the only difference, right? We only change this guy to integer instead of character. Okay, so there's nothing.
Sorry, please, can I ask why
Yes,
are we using integer this time instead of character?
because they said you are not allowed to use any variable type of character. So it is being specified that you should not use character. That's why we are using integer. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So that's why.
Thank you.
Alright. So this one, it says write a program that prints the lower alphabet in reverse. So this one is quite interesting, very simple. It's just the normal thing. So what we do is that basket that we created, we put Z first, right? And then we then start decrementing Z. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Alright, so this one is 7 print. Okay, so BI7. It's going to be, hey, so I went to open the executable. Let's see. Alright, so that's what we did. We put Z inside, and then we said as long as Z is greater than A, so it will continue as long as Z is greater than A, and then we are decreasing the value of Z by 1. So we are using minus minus. You can also say alphabet equals to alphabet minus 1, and then your semicolon, and then that's what we did. So it will come here, Z is less than this, right? True. It will print Z, decrease Z, become Y. Y is less than this, print Y, decrease till it gets to A. A is less than this, print A, decrease it. The value that is after A, is it greater than A? No. Is it equal to A? No. Then it will just print new line and return 0. And that's all. And don't forget, you are still using char. So if you use int and you have issue, just change it to char, because I don't know if it's probably it might have been specified up. Let me go up. So sometimes you just read this thing, they will tell you that okay, you are not supposed to use this thing, you're not supposed to use that. Okay. Okay, this one is things that you're supposed to know. Requirements. Okay. Okay, they didn't specify actually. So probably if you use int, it might still work. Okay. So let's page down and okay, I think time is going, and let's see. I think we've done this right. Put chart twice, reverse, yes. So number 8. Write a program that prints all the number of base 16 in lowercase. We know base 16 is 0 to 9, right? And then we have A to A, B, C, D, E, F. A to F, right? Yes, A to F. So what we are going to do is simple. It's not like we have a base 16 stuff. What we do is we create 2 while loop. We'll make one run A to 9, 0 to 9. We'll create second one. We'll make it run A to F. That is, we'll put A inside that basket. We'll say as long as A is less than or equal to F, and then we'll increment A. Okay, so 8 prints, and that's what that would do. I don't know if you have questions. Should we still go into the code and explain? Should we? This thing is too much. Should we still go into the code and explain? Has the meeting ended? Hello? Hello?
Go into the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright. That's number 9. Is it number 9 or number 8? Number 8. Okay. Number escape this one. We are 8. So can you see we declared one to hold 0 because that's what we want to print first. We declared another one to hold a. Then we said it should print 0 to 9, right? This one will print 0 to 9, right? Then come back down here, and after printing your 0 to 9, come to the next one, print A to F. As simple as that. Or should I still run through it? You should be able to grab it now. So this one is 0. As long as 0 is less than this, it will print 0. Increase 0 by 1. Come here again. It has become 1. 1 is less than this, it will print 1. Increase it. It will print 2. It will print 3. It will print 9. And then when you get to 10, is 10 less than 9? No. Is 10 equal to 9? No. It will come outside. Go to this next one. And letter is A. A is A less than this? Yes. It will then print add A to the 9. Right? Then it will increase A to B. It will continue till it gets to F. Then when you get to F, it will get to G. Is G less than F? No. Is G equal to F? No. Then it will come here and print new line. And then 0. So whenever you execute it, you have this. That's why whenever you execute it, you have this 0 to 9, A to F, and then a new line. Okay. So I don't know if you have questions. We have less than 10 minutes and you're taking our time. So basically, I'll just explain this one. You can go back to the video and rewatch, repractice, and get it. Okay, you still have small time because it is getting choked, and with time you might just give up. You get, so you need to keep up and keep practicing. This is the right time because by ending of the month you'll be given a project that is going to make so many people cry. So let's see. So this one you have to print 0 to 9, but after printing the first one you put comma and you put space. Okay, so this one it said print all single number digits, right? Let me see. Okay, in 30 minutes stuff would end. Alright, please kindly mute yourself. You're just joining. So he said that you should print everything separated by comma followed by space. So separated by comma followed by space, and then you can only use putchar function for this. You can only use putchar 4 times. All your code should be in main. You are not allowed to use any variable of type char. That is, you cannot use character. So you have to use integer, right? So let's go into the scope. 9 print. So you have your let's do this guy. So this is it. Okay, so this one, since we are printing 0 to 9, we initialize it 0 to 9. We'll make this one print 0 to 9, right? We end it, we increase this guy, right? So this is the remaining paparazzi, right? So we said normally we can just say it should print the first line, it should print 0. After 0, we can add these 2 things under it. So if we do this, what will happen is that it will come here, it will print 0, it will print comma, it will print space, it will do it for everything. And when it gets to this 9, it will still print 9, print comma, print space. But the 9th one does not have. So we now gave a condition that when it gets to the 8th one, it should stop that guy. Okay, so we now say if this whatever value this guy is less than or equal to 8, it should keep printing this thing. So whenever it is not, it should not print this guy, right? It will just print 9 and then increase it. I don't know if you get it. So let me go again. This is 0. 0 will get printed first, right? Because 0 is less than this. And then to come here, we gave it a condition. The reason why we gave it this condition is because the 9th number, we don't want it to have this comma and space. Okay, so we now said that it should stop at 8. That's what we are saying, that it should stop at 8. That is, whenever this number is not is less than or equal to 8. Okay, whenever it is less than or equal to 8, that is, whenever it is less than, that's from 0 equal to 8 you should do this. So if it is greater than 8, so when we print this guy is 8, it will do this thing, increase it by 1. This one becomes 9. 9 is still equal to 9. It will print 9, and then it will want to print this comma and space. Then this place will now give it the condition 9 is not less than and it's not equal to it. Then this one will not get printed. Okay, then it will increase, become 10, and then when 10 goes here, 10 is not less than equal to this, so all this while loop will skip, and then to print new line, and then return 0. Okay, so we have few minutes. We have probably 7 minutes. All right, so after this one, probably tomorrow we'll continue. All right, so let me see. So the next one, so we have 3 more. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. So the next 2, I want you to go and try it yourself. It's very hard and it's very simple. Okay, so try it yourself. If you have done the copying and pasting before, go through it, try and see if you understand it. Okay, and redo it. Okay, and I don't know, is there a way for me to check if you actually do it? Probably I will pass the message to the group. Okay, so redo the last, or probably redo everything here from 1 to Z. Probably you're going to create a new repository for serious-minded assignments. Okay, and then you redo it. Make sure you are not copying, and if you are copying, make sure that you are writing it yourself and you just checked. Probably you've tried so many times and you didn't get the output. Okay, you run it and you didn't get it. Probably you just checked and just to correct yourself. That should be it. So I think that will help us as well. So you do hello what you do this task. So you are going to do these 2 tasks, and that will be it. So tomorrow we'll continue. So let me just quickly go through this one and see if I can still go through the 3rd one. Okay, so you go through the last 2 yourself. Basically, this one is saying that you should write a program that will print 2 digits. Okay, you should print 2 digits, right? So numbers, write a program that prints different combination of 2 digits. Numbers must be separated by comma, so it's separated by comma and a space. And note that the last one will not have comma and space, so you have to give a condition. Okay, that whenever you get to that last space, you should not print it. Okay, so that's one. Someone is trying to join. Okay, let me just meet the person. We have 5 or 7 minutes more. Alright, so I think we can still finish this guy. Alright, so the 2 digits must be different. The 2 digits must be different. So if you have 0 and 1, and 1 and 0, they are considered the same. So the lowest one should be printed, which is 0 and 1. Okay, so 0 and 1, 1 and 0, 0 and 1 will be printed. So we will have so many if conditions. So we'll go through it and you'll see it. So if you have 0 and 2 and 2 and 0, so one thing you should note is that there's one similar pattern. We have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 up to 9 times. We have 1 up to 9 times. We have 2 up to 9 times. We have 3 up to 9 times. We have 4 up to 9 times. We have 5 up to 9 times. We have 6. 6 is not up to 9 times again, and we have 7, and we have 8. Okay, and then this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is what is reducing them. So this one started from 1 to 9. The second number started from 2 to 9. This one started from 3 to 9, 4 to 9, 5 to 9, 6 to 9, 7 to 9, 8 to 9, and then 8 to 9. Okay, they have one similar pattern. So you need to just sit down, try and figure out why those patterns are like that, and then present it in a code. So let's just go through this code, and then we'll see. So before we go through that one, this one is even more complex, because this one is almost the same thing, but it's having one more extra. Okay, and then this one, the last one, is the same, almost the same thing, but it's having 2. Okay, so let's just go through that. Number 10. So because those ones are hard, in classes, you are always the students are the ones to solve the hard ones, so you are the one solving it. All right. So anyway, let's go through this one. 100 print cone. So we vi into 100 print cone dot c. All right. So as you can see, the code is getting longer, and it's just because of all those conditions that we've written. Okay. So we said that we initialize the first number and the second number. Okay. We have to print the first and second number, right? Good. So we'll have two while loops. Reason being that one will print the first number, one will print the second number, right? So this one will print from 0 to 9. Okay? So this one will print from 0 to 9. That is this this I think it's this guy to this guy. But note that it is not printing 0 0, right? Okay, so we are going to give it that condition for it not to print. Okay, so and then the second one too will print where is it? 0 to 9 as well, right? So they're actually both printing 0 to 9, 0 to 9. Okay, so we then combine them together. Okay, all right. So what we did is, okay, this one is to print 0 to 9, this one is to print 0 to 9. This kind of loop is called nested loop. Okay, that is a loop inside a loop. Okay, so nested loop is what you are now going to keep on doing now. Okay, so you'll be having two loops together majorly. Okay, so I will explain better tomorrow how we can work with nested loop, but let me just try and simplify this guy. Okay, we have probably 3 minutes more or so. So if num1, so we want to give it that condition. You know, remember that the first one, okay, the first one has to be smaller than the second one, right? So that's the condition we are giving it here. So we said that if that first number, you know, it's printing 0 and 0, we are printing these first two number, right? We are printing 0, we'll print 0 as well, right? So if this one is less than this one, that is when you should print this guy. So print that first two number. So normally did we initialize this one to be 0? Okay, good. So normally go back up. All right. So normally first one has to be greater than the second one. So if you look at this statement, you see that let me see, is it first one or second one? Num1 is less, so num1 has to be less than num2 rather. Okay, so it means that this guy has to be less than this guy for it to print those two. So if this guy is greater than the second one, it should not print it. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So if it is equal, it will not print it as well. It has to be greater. So at the point of, it will start from 0 0, right? So 0 0 will come here, and then this one is 0, this one is 0, right? So 0 0 will not get printed. Okay, so the next one that get printed is it will become this one. What happens is this one is 0, right? Okay, so this one is 0. This one would want to execute whatever is here, right? So is 0 less than is 0 is less than equal to 9, right? True. So 0 will come here, right? So our num1 is 0. Okay, so it will not come here again and say num2 is 0. Is 0 less than or equal to 9? It is true, right? Num2 is 0, right? So the thing is, all this thing would first get executed, right? And the thing is, this while loop here would repeat until it is false before it goes back out to this guy. Okay, so this one will first check if it is true for the first time, 0, right? Then this one will not go and keep executing. Once this one is false, it will come out and then go back to this guy again. So I will explain why for loop very well probably tomorrow, but I think you should be able to get something today. So um, so it is 0 already. 0 is less than 9. True. It will come here and then want to execute this thing until this thing is exhausted before we go back to this place and this one become 1 before we increment the n1 and it will become 1. Okay, so we'll execute this one. Okay, we'll keep on executing this one. Okay, so I'll send a video on for our nested loop to you. I think the one ALX gave, so you would understand it better. So so this one is 0 now. The 0 is less than this, right? So our num1 is 0 from initially, and this one too is 0. Because this one is 0, this one is 0, it will not execute this block of code. Remember that this if is still inside all this guy, so it will not execute this guy. So num1 is still 0, so it will come back here and increase num2, right? And then num2 is now 1. Okay, so 1 is less than this, yes. So num1 is still 0. So is 0 less than 1? True. Then it will print 0, it will print 1. Then it will now go to this place again. Okay, so because of time, let me see. Oh, sorry, I'm not sure. Oh, it has ended. Alright, so let me just stop here and then we'll continue tomorrow.